I was with a group of faith leaders, and everybody was quite surprised when they found out that the Pope has resigned. And usually there's always, this initial speculation of what happened, is there an incident? But, when people found out that he had resigned because of age and health and his ability to carry out the responsibilities and the offices of a Pope, I think that was positive. I think it set an interesting precedent and a positive precedent for other religious leaders, and because that is generally a critique of religious community, that people who establish institutions or who are in institutions and leaders, that they tend to stay there for quite a long time. And I think hopefully this will set a precedent not only within the Catholic community but other communities as well, to help propel younger leadership into religious institutions. I think when it comes to Catholic-Muslim relations, what was interesting was his initial interaction was a little, strained. His comments in 2006 regarding the Prophet Muhammad, or his quote of a medieval text, caused controversy around the Muslim majority world. There was protests and there was some violence as well. But I think since then, it's been quite a positive interaction. I think this Pope has been quite positive in reaching out and stressing the issue of dialogue. After that, he apologized for that comment and said that he did not mean to, hurt or be offensive towards the Muslim communities. And in terms of statements and meetings and conversations, he encouraged the Catholic community, especially in Europe, to open their arms and hearts towards their Muslim immigrants and to be open to dialogue. And I think that was important because we do see a lot of strained relations, especially in Europe, when it comes to Muslim minorities and Christian majorities. And I think his willingness to understand that and realize that and have that conversation was very important. And I think he was also very, when it came to the issue of Middle East peace, he's been very vocal about that. Both the situation of Christians and Muslims in the Middle East, and especially in Palestine and Israel. And I think when he's had that conversation, he's been very pro-human rights, he's been anti-occupation, and he's encouraged that dialogue, and he called for a Palestinian state, which was encouraging and a good sign within that part of the world. So I think overall, he's been extremely helpful in pushing the dialogue forward. We're hoping that the next Pope would continue that legacy, because we do live in a very kind of global village, and it's important that that conversation takes place. The issue of Syria, he's been very vocal about. The issue of preemptive war, when we had that whole conversation with President Bush, talking about the issue of preemptive war, he came out publicly against it, and he said that that's not something that is morally just. And the Iraq war itself, and he said that he found no moral justification for the Iraq war. And I think those were things that helped propel him beyond just the head of the Catholic community, but as an international religious leader. And not many faith leaders were as vocal on the Iraq war, especially in the beginning. And so him coming out publicly to address that actually helped kind of, help resonate of the voice of Muslim leaders who came out as well. So it was positive in terms of his engagement on issues of war, of human rights abuses, and I think that's something that was positive in the interaction between him and Muslim communities.